Hey, good morning, everybody. First off, I'm going to speak a little slower today. I've been accused of speaking too fast and losing some individuals. So let's go into what I shared with Discord, which I put on the screen, and what I shared with YouTube yesterday morning as far as my pre-market analysis and my thought process. First off, the last 5 Mondays on the SPY had a 3-point range. What did we see yesterday for most of the afternoon before the last minute drop? A 3-point range that turned into 3.5 points from the top to the bottom. So I'll get into Tuesday being today. What do we generally see? Well, the range slightly improves from Monday. So I was actually expecting a 3.5 point range today and the same type of volume. Yesterday's volume in the SPY was 72 million. Today's volume be 72 million. So yesterday, what was I expecting? I was expecting bull case scenario. We dropped to 432.50 and we shoot up. Now we did drop to 432.60 right in the morning. That was the first drop and we found support there. So you could actually use the bull case scenario. We shot up and we went right below or right at the dark pool level for the SPY at 434, I think 71. I think we went to 434.60. So the bear case scenario is in play as well because we went 20 cents away from the top, 434.61, and I thought we dropped to 431.35. So we dropped end of day 431.20. So I missed that point by 15 cents, meaning both scenarios came into play. So when I talk about bull case or bear case, whichever you may be, I'm here to help you process the market. Okay, with that said, I guess we can get into some of my trades and why I traded them yesterday. I got into DraftKings, right? I think my average was about 62. I traded the same option the day before on Friday. I was in at like 72 out at $1. So I knew a good entry was 72. I knew a good exit was around $1. Now, yesterday I put, again, my exit would be 95. That was when it was trading at $54. That's when I told you that yesterday morning. Then we went up to $79. Then I got my exit at 95. Yes, it went to like $1 yesterday, maybe a little more, but I was happy. Let's remember my Boeing options, right? I bought in at $7. I bought in at $5.60. My average was $6.30. I sold 2 contracts for $7.30. Took $200, making bank, little profits. All right, Lucid, I'm definitely early. I did say I paid the ask, and this is riskier. And this one closed at $11 each, okay? And I've got 40 contracts. So I'm down about, 52% or $500 on this single trade. Now, Lucid's popping this morning, and let me explain why I think Lucid might pop. You have the Saudis, the United Arab Emirates, I forget what they call their investment fund, but they basically own 15% of Lucid. These people have unthinkable money. We know because they gave Ronaldo, like $1 billion or $300 million a year for 2 years, something like that. They offered Messi $1 billion. They just basically overtook the PGA Golf Tour, right? Created the Live Golf Tour, throwing money at it. And now there's a merger. So understand, when they have 15% of stock, what do I think? Do I think Lucid's going bankrupt like some of these other, what is that went bankrupt this morning? Lordstown Ride. Remember Ride? Well, we'll talk about that stock, and we'll talk about Nikola real quick. But again, Lucid, the Saudis, they own 15%. Remember what they said about oil? Don't short oil. Then what happened? Oil went up. So again, these Saudis have incredible cash. Then you have individual members that aren't part of the fund that had talked to their friends. Hey, man, just keep buying Lucid. Yeah, worst case, we'll just buy the company. That's what I have to assume they're saying. So now you have other foreign investors that are buying. Do you know how many shares went yesterday? I think it was like 100. I don't remember. I don't want to give you guys the wrong number. So again, it's up like 2%, 3% pre-market. What other trade I was in? And I'll talk about Nikola and Ride. But let's just finish the trading from yesterday, okay? So you guys know how I share, okay? Oh, yeah, Mara went on my watch list at $71. Just because it's on the top of my watch list doesn't mean I bought. Now, when I see it at $53, okay, down $20 or $18 per contract, I say to myself, taking a first position. Now, I tried to get in at 53, but I didn't. I got in at 55. I bought 4, okay? Then what happened? I bought 4 more at 49. I'm easing into the position. My average is 52. All right, I'm very happy with that average. I thought about making another trade, DraftKings. Why? Because that would be the 3rd time I would play the same thing. And every time I get into DraftKings and it's under 72, it turns out well. Now, DraftKings, I think, finished at 62, and it's probably up pre-market 0.5%. So that would probably turn this position green again, maybe by 20, 25% if I was in it. Pre-market, again, I'm in Mara, I'm in Lucid. We'll see how those pan out. But that's how I share my trades. My trades need to have a complete strategy. The strategy on Lucid, although that was my only red trade from yesterday, was that the United Arab Emirates, the Saudi investment fund, they'll keep making investments in Lucid. They don't care if they own 25%, 30%, 40%. They're going to invest in this company. Okay, so as far as the other trades go, Mara, why? Because we've seen Bitcoin with strong demand. We've seen a number of new ETFs apply through the SEC. So I think Bitcoin pricing is going to go up. Bitcoin is going to do a half-life next August, so August of 2024, which means you have to process the same amount of information. Instead of receiving one Bitcoin, you'll get half a Bitcoin. All right, which takes the value up. When it's double as hard, right, because they're going to half the life, it's going to go up. I don't know. Every time it they half-life it, Bitcoin, goes pretty good. Okay. So with that said, what else did I want to talk about? Okay, Nikola. Remember, Nikola stock was $1.50 each, and I mentioned the 300,000 put options at a 50-cent strike price. So yes, Nikola is not at 50 cents yet. It's at $1.10 that it closed at yesterday. It's at $1.10, $1.11 pre-market. All right, it was as high as $1.31 yesterday, as low as $1.05. But the point being, it was $1.55, $1.58 the day that I gave the news. Now that it's down to $1.10, that's what? 39% down literally in like 5 days since I spoke about that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, here's the five. I don't need to show you the 5-day chart. So what happened? Well, Lordstown Motor, $2.76 with a valuation of what, $100 million, announced they're going to file for bankruptcy. They're going to file for bankruptcy. They're going bankrupt. They're going to do a reorg. They're putting themselves up for sale. Okay. Now, if somebody swoops in and thinks their technology is great, and yes, that's the only way you can invest. If you know a lot about Ride or Lordstown Motor, and you know they have unique technology, and someone's going to swoop in, Tesla, another EV, maybe a battery company, and pick them up for really cheap because they'll be in bankruptcy court, then great investment. However, if I think that they're going to possibly zero because they're filing for bankruptcy like every other company, let's remember, what was it? Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond at 38, 40 cents. I was like, hey, just stay the hell away from that one. And then where did it go? It went down to like 9, 10 cents, 17 cents, whatever it is. You're still losing over 50% of your value. So again, please, I mean, if you want to do a meme purchase and think that they're going to buy the dip, go ahead. If you know something about this company and you know that they're probably valued at whatever, but you know exactly what's on their books as far as debt and it makes sense to you, great, go for it. If not, I was just stay the heck away. I mean, what else? Oh, did I trade? Uber. I mentioned Uber for 5 days straight. I was looking for $45. The high in Uber yesterday, $45.04. So just follow a select number of stocks, 5 stocks, 6 stocks, an ETF. Make it like family. Understand exactly what you're looking for when you make a trade. Now, did I hold Uber to 45? No, I got out of all my calls yesterday morning on the spike because what do I tell you I like to do? When the market spikes up overnight and I get a good exit on open, I'll be out within the first 5-10 minutes. I don't care. That's what I did yesterday. And then again, I looked to re-enter Mara, DraftKings, and then Lucid popped up on my screen just for the simple thought process that I thought, okay, endless amount of money. We saw what happened with Liv. It took a year for them to overtake the PGA. So maybe it takes a year before Lucid's 15 again. But when you got Lucid at, what is it, $5.55, 15 is a 200% return. So that's my thought process there. I had Starbucks options, which I got out of yesterday morning on a little spike. I averaged down. Starbucks is interesting. I still want to stay away from Starbucks, even though I kind of like it, just because I'm uncertain about China. Starbucks, yes, Starbucks, Nike, Apple, they have direct impact from Chinese, the Chinese market, the Chinese economy. I'm eyeing SoFi. In fact, one of these analysts came out with a $5 price target. What was he from? We something. He went to Lehigh, where I went to college. So I reached out to him on LinkedIn and I told him that he happens to be incorrect about SoFi. I understand why he's doing so, but if he's truly an analyst for the sector, he should really know better. Anyway, that's besides the point. Again, it's hard to fight a price target decrease. If your stock gets downgraded, even if you're bullish on the stock and the charts look good, if they downgrade your stock other analysts might follow. And the same is true on upgrades. And we saw what happened to Tesla over the last couple of days, couple of downgrades. We saw what happened to Apple. Again, Apple was going through the roof on its way to 200. Couple of downgrades, and it goes back to 185 from 187, 188, back to 186, back to 185, 186. I mean, it's not like through the roof. Again, tech is pretty strong. All right, so a couple of little other information I wanted to share with you guys today. Again, for the latecomers, yesterday I announced a 3 to 3.5 point range on the SPY. Nailed it, 3.5 points. I gave you the bull case and bear case scenario. Both came to fruition. I nailed the volume at 72 million. So those are the past 5 Mondays we've seen the repetitive pattern. So what happens on Tuesday? Well, if you're here watching with me, I'm going to tell you it's going to be about a 3.5 point range on the SPY. Okay. And we're going to do about 77 million. So a little more than yesterday. Okay. That's still a little light volume for me. I like to see 90 million, 100 million on the SPY. That tells me I can follow the momentum. If I see buying and I know we're at 100 million or going to 100 million on the day, then the buying is going to continue. When I see lighter volume, we could see something like, the market looks like it's fading the morning, whatever. And then all of a sudden we get a 1 or 2 point spike and we're back at like 433, from 431 flat, literally in 10 minutes off light volume. So I will get into my SPY prediction for today. Let me just bring up the SPY. Let me just get there. There's the SPX, right? We've got the Qs. Meta, gotta get everything. Google on my list. Remember, I was Google bear. Well, All right, so the SPY is sitting at 432.38. So what do we do now that we know the SPY is sitting at 432.38? All right, we're gonna go over to Discord. Now we're not going to my channel. We're going to the Flow and Algos channel, which is sponsored or run by TradyTicks. Okay, we don't produce these algorithms. These are the same algorithms that big money uses. That institutions. And what would I do? I'm going to go to the dark pool levels. Why? Because it worked yesterday. 434.71, which is a dark pool level. We missed by 10 cents on the high. Okay, but the dark pool levels obviously changed. They've actually grown in size as well, okay, which is pretty important. So I'm looking right here, 439 now. We're not making it up there today. So what's the next largest level? Here we go. Largest level in the dark pool, 437.57. So we would have to have an extreme bullish day to go up 6 points in the SPY. There would have to be a reason for buying. What do we have out today? I think we've got some consumer sentiment and some housing numbers out today. Durable goods, 830. All right, already happened. S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index. Home Price Index, will that move the market that much? Not really, 9 a.m. New home sales, 10 a.m. Consumer confidence, 10 a.m. Consumer confidence, I like to look at it, but it really doesn't tell me all that much. I heard the people on, CNBC and some of these other channels talking, and they're saying, Costco reported that people are buying less steak and more chicken. All these retails are reporting that they're going from, the higher priced item to the middle priced item. They're still buying it. Consumer sentiment is strong. Consumer demand is strong. We haven't seen demand destruction yet, okay, which happens when we're going into recession, but they are changing their preferences. Okay, so I'll look at the dark pool levels. 431.44 is where we close. So we've got a dark pool level right here at 430.35. We're in between. So what would I look to happen? I'll tell you right away. Again, I'm a bear, but I still think they're buying the dips. I still think they're loading into technology and they're loading into Dow plays like airlines, which I've mentioned a number of times. Look at the chart for Delta, United, okay? Those are the two I like to play. Inflow for like 10 or 11 out of the last 12 days. Like 95% of the time, it's inflow. Inflow means they're buying the ask. You're paying the ask. You're pushing the stock up. All right, so back to the SPY levels. Again, if we go down, I think we drop right at this 430 level. I think we bounce from the 430 level and then right back to 434, okay? Which makes it a green day, which makes it a buy the dip mentality. I skipped this 432 level. Why? Because it's very small. 7 billion is not actually that small. I've seen 1 billion. I've seen under a billion, 900 million. So I guess I will focus. So I'm going to actually focus on 434 and change, which was yesterday's high. Okay. 432.16, which is a dark pool level. And 430, because sometimes when we drop under the bottom level that we see on the day, we get that drop under by 20, 30 cents and we bounce real quick. So if I see this drop to 430 flat and then bounce real quick to $430.50, then yeah, again, I'm going to think it's a buy the dip. We're going to 434. Okay, so hopefully everybody just followed that scenario. I'll spell it out one more time. I'll give you your bull case, bear case scenario, what I actually think is going to happen in the market. Okay, so the SPY is sitting at 431. Right now it's 432.50. All right, so 432.50. What's going to happen? We're going to drop down to 431 and change. Okay, we know that there's a dark pool level at 432.16. So we're going to drop slightly under there and quickly bounce right to that level, 432.16. And I actually think we're going to see 434 today. So you guys can play that however you want. I'm looking at the same options I've been following all week. Starbucks, Mara, DraftKings, right? Just stocks that I'm very familiar with on their patterns. Now, what would I be looking for? Here's my scenario and how it plays out. We're opening at 432. Maybe we drop off open. We touch that 431.44 where we closed at yesterday. Maybe even 431.16 where we touched right at the end of the day. And we bounce hard off that. And we go to 432 and we just flicker around 432.50, 432.40. And then all of a sudden, boom, we just spiked up. Now we're at 433.50. Just a whole point really quickly, like I told you, on light volume. All right, so again, I am going to be bullish out of the gate. I'm going to be buying the dip from my positions. It worked for me the past few days. I was done trading by 9:39 one morning. I was done trading by 9:54. Yes, I left profit on the table, but green is green, and green makes me happy. All right, with that said, if you have any questions, please ask on the side. Totally hit that like button. I mentioned Ride, Lordstown. Okay, here's an interesting thing. Snowflake, SNOW. Okay, I have zero position in the stock, but they just entered into a partnership with NVIDIA. They've also entered into a partnership with Microsoft this morning. So again, Snowflake, one to look at? Yes. Buy the dips for that one? Okay, it's on the top of my watch list now. Yesterday's top of my watch list was Mara. Mara went down. I'm not in profit yet. I'm 52 cents in per contract. I think it closed at $51. Yes, Mara's up 4% pre-market. What does that mean for my options? I'll probably end up taking 40 or 50%. Bitcoin stocks tend to spike out of the gate, come down, find a nice base, and then go up towards the end of the day. What does that mean? I'm going to take that spike. Am I taking the first spike as my exit? No, because I know there's usually a double spike. It's like spike, come down a little, spike higher, and then do whatever it does. So I already know my exit strategy. My exit strategy this morning is not monetarily based or percentage-wise based. It's visually based. I'm looking for the spike, and then I'll take that first spike and I'll add a little bit for the second spike because that's what I know that crypto stocks tend to do. All right, I've mentioned NVIDIA now for like 4 straight days. Why? Because when you find the low, okay, it's a good swing trade. No, it's a good scalp, I would say. Why? Because it trades a wide range. Now, yesterday, I think Tesla traded like 15 points. The day before, I think it was at a 12-point range. NVIDIA, yesterday's high, 427.64, 427.5, let's say. Yesterday's low, 401. Shit moved 26 points yesterday. So when I mentioned great options trading, yes, you have to see that, hey, man, NVIDIA is bearish. So out of the gate, if you're bearish, boom, you take it, you ride it down. However, you could also play the opposite. I said when you find support, and let's say you found support, 401 found support, and you want to buy calls. I didn't notice it till it was 402.24. But if I had purchased calls at 402.24 and it goes up to 406.32, that's a whole 1%. That's $4. That's probably something like 18 to 20%, depending on your option play. But you're in, you're out. You put in $1,400, you exit out with $1,800. That's a day, 300 and change. A day, a single trade, probably within an hour. All right. Yeah, I spoke about my prediction yesterday. I posted on Webull. I told you I was in Uber, DraftKings, Starbucks, Boeing. Last 5 Mondays, 3-point range. Last 5 Tuesdays, 3.5-point range. We saw a 2.5-point range inside day. So again, I'm assuming today's going to be somewhat narrow, meaning when you find the bottom, you add 3.5 points to that. So let's just say we bottom, we'd sell out in the morning and we go at 431.16. Well, then you add 3 to 3.5 points. Let's just add 3.5 points, 434.66. There you go. Not so hard. It's simple mathematics. If you're watching the market, if you have a real job and you can't watch the market all the time, but you check in on your phone, you're like, okay, SPY low and it's towards the bottom. and you're like, okay, it's 430. I'm going to add 3.5 points to 430. That means the high should be 433.50. We haven't gone up yet. It's 10:20 a.m. Okay, when we find the second bottom, double bottom, you've heard that expression. When we see some support, you say, okay, I'm going to get into calls. Now, what did I tell everybody? Buy the extra time. When you're buying calls, you're not buying 0 days till expiration calls. Today being, what's today? Tuesday? I would go out till Friday. Do I need to go out till Friday? No. Don't they have options that expire every day? Yeah. Why would I go out to Friday? To be safe. But Matt, you're going to pay an extra $1.50 instead of 90-cent option. It's going to cost you $2.40. Yeah, I get it. Guess what? If I'm incorrect and you lose 90% of your $90 option, that's $81. You're pulling out your option with $9. You just lost 90%. Me, let's say I'm incorrect and I go out till Friday and I'm incorrect today and it goes down to that same level that you just lost 90% on. Yeah, I'm down like what? 30, 33, 36, 34%, whatever it is. And I'm in for $1,400. So let's just say I'm off about $580. You just lost all your money. You lost 90%. Me, I bought 3 extra days. I'm okay because usually my strategies end up panning out. So even if I'm wrong on entry and we go the opposite direction, it's all good. We got Kingdom Love. Starbucks have 2 going on strikes rate. Yeah, I see support for Starbucks. Again, it's tough because China has been beat up, but China had some support overnight. So that's an interesting thing. Dow stocks have been beat up, but we also saw a rotation out of big tech because we saw them sell off yesterday. We saw Google at what, 118? We saw AMD, and AMD for me falls under big tech. We see Tesla drop under the 250, went to 244 and change. So yeah, it's Starbucks, United Airlines, Delta, probably some of the casino plays, banking stocks. They all fall under Dow plays. So let's see what else. Look at questions we got this morning. Made 100% on those DraftKings options I shared yesterday. So yeah, I didn't make 100% on that trade. Now, how could someone make 100%? I'll explain. I got in. My average was $62. DraftKings yesterday, I think the low was $50. I added more at 52. I told people when I added more at 52. Let's say you got in at 52. Well, those went north of $1. That's how you make 100%. You take something I say, hey, I'm interested in those stupid Lucid options that I was taking a chance on yesterday, right? I mentioned them at 28. They go on your watch list. We've got one member, and he was right yesterday. He bought it at $15 a contract. They closed at $11 a contract. So he's right by $8. Yeah, we have small players. You only have $100 in your account. Can't go crazy. 2 contracts, $15 each. That's $30. They go down to 11. Now they're worth 22. He's down a good percentage, probably 30%. No, 28%. Here's the thing. Get a good spike on Lucid, and I was looking for a spike to the $6.40 range, something like that, again, based on demand. And those options become worth $40 plus a little time, maybe $44. So he's in at $15. If I get the correct exit at 44, yesterday my correct exit would have been 88. I was looking for a little more yesterday. But let's just say $44 today. That's still a 200% return. So again, that's the kind of plays I'm looking for, plays that have reasoning behind it. They're still pushing Uber again. They're still pushing DraftKings. I've heard people talk about AI, right? This company AI was as high as like $49. Now it had a little bit of a sell-off for 6 straight days. When that does turn around, when you see an inflow day in AI, it's going to pop from $32 where it is all the way back to like $36. So do I know if that happens this week? No, because it can go down to $28 first. But again, on my watch list, have a strategy for it. If I see support, if I see inflow, and I still can get in at 32, 33, and I think it's going to pop to 36, I'm going to have a hell of a return. I'm going to pick up probably 60, 65% on that type of play. All right, let's see. I had a couple other things to share with you guys this morning, and then we'll just move on. Okay, so yeah, this is the Snow partnership with NVIDIA and Microsoft within 24 hours. Durable goods, I mentioned that today. Consumer sentiment. The pickleball thing, I don't need to mention. NASDAQ 100. Now, we speak about ratings and weightings of different stocks. 7 companies in the NASDAQ 100, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, NVIDIA, Meta, and Tesla. So you basically have the big 5, and then you throw in NVIDIA and Tesla. They basically control over 50%. So you see these stocks, Microsoft, Apple going down. Now, these two stocks are at all-time highs, Microsoft and Apple. But if you start to see Microsoft and Apple sell off, then you could easily take a position, a put position against the Qs, okay? The NASDAQ 100. If you see them reaching or hear them still going up and institutions are buying in and you look at the market net flow, again, more than ever, it's important to look at the algorithm. So I talk about market net flow. Let's share what that is, okay? So go back to Discord and I'll type in TR net flow, and I can look at the net flow for SPY. I can look at the net flow for the market, TR net flow market. And then I can also type in TR net flow market, and I can look at it over like a 5 or 7 day span. I think 7, let's not 5. Let's see if 5 works. And then I'm just going to go to these charts and share them with you. Okay, so here's the net flow for the SPY. Okay, everybody can see that with me. The red is the premiums being paid for puts. The premiums being paid for calls. Okay, they're back to almost to zero. Okay. So yeah, this would be considered bearish on the SPY. We saw the SPY drop off again. So that makes me look at the dark pool levels. So that's why I would go up and look at the dark pool levels and try and find where we can see support. Again, I mentioned $430. So if the market sells off, I'm looking to find support right at 430 and get into some call activity. So say the market drops right out of the chute. Yeah. All right. Now let's look at the net flow of the entire market. Okay. When the market dropped down here, people all of a sudden started buying and entering into calls. However, people kept entering into puts because they expected to drop more. So the premiums are here at 15 mil. Okay. We're about 9 mil on the premiums for the calls when we saw the market drop. So again, I need to use the dark pool level because this all right here from yesterday morning, which started a little bullish. We remember that spike just turned bearish strong. The costs for premiums for puts were going up. Even when the market rebounded, right? They still didn't drop down to this level. If they crossed over, then that would be extremely bullish. And then again, did my third chart work? Okay, here we go. So I'm looking at the 5 chart now here, which just encompasses a little more time. So I can still say, hey, even though I was zooming in and it looked bearish, when I look at this and the net premiums over the 5-day range, I'm saying it's still bullish. And this drop tells me, holy shit, my strategy about buying the dip should probably continue. All right, today's lessons and today's live stream was, to me, very informative. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, guys, girls. If you did, please, a thumbs up. Join me tomorrow. And if you have a social platform, it's okay to share the link of the video. I would appreciate it. The more people that see me and understand how to process the market and understand, don't have FOMO, and understand you could trade with $100 or you could trade with a small amount as long as you follow a strategy, the better. The more people that follow random people on Twitter and other social platforms that just talk and they just shove money in your face. Hey, I'm giving away free money. These aren't the people that are going to help you. The people that claim victory after the fact, hey, man, I got into this play, that play. That's bullshit. You want to know why they're getting into it. You don't want to follow like sheep. With that said, Romeo is doing live trading this morning at 9:15. So make sure to join him. He gave 3 plays out yesterday when he live traded, I think between 1 and 2 p.m. That returned 140%, 120%, and 80%. Dude trades extremely well on the platform, runs the live trading, has his own lounge and other things. So I will see everybody tomorrow morning. Thank you for joining me. Have a great morning. Remember, be safe, secure profit.